What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Save Point Podcast, episode 35. I had to look that up beforehand because I did forget. I am Alex, and I'm joined, as always, by Sway, and we're back. It's been a long time, although we did just do the Spider-Man live stream before, and we're actually going to be doing another live stream next week. That should be pretty freaking big. But we're back, and oh my God, what a time to be alive and for us to talk, because there's so many games that are out. There's still some that are coming out as well. Like, we're not done. Sway, how are you? How have you been? What you been up to?
Man, I've been doing good. Spider-Man.
Yes, platinum.
Loved it. Platinumed it. Loved it. I do have my critiques for it, but overall I think it was just a pleasant experience. Definitely top 3 games of the year. Um Getting back into Assassin's Creed because I needed to finish that. So that's pretty much what I'm tackling next and right now. And just enjoying this. I mean, we got Ghost Runner coming out. Alan Wake, the reviews dropped today.
Yep.
It's just what a time to be alive. What about you, Alex?
Yeah. So Spider-Man platinum did on Sunday, I think, and then I got Ghost Runner, and then I played that for one day, and I love it. And I think I can talk about it. Like, it is, because I think it comes out today, and the reviews could have went live days ago. It's a very good game. And then Alan Wake, and then I got to play. So I'm allowed to say it. I guess I just have to say Remedy gave me a code, but still, it goes live for people in a few hours. Oh boy, oh, that's a good game. Let me tell you right now, Sway, it's a good game. If you're into you gotta be into it. I started following and talking to another creator who covers Alan Wake, specifically that Hidden Machine guy, and he did a post saying, like, it's good for like, if you don't know it, you can play it.
Okay.
I think that's true only to an extent. I think it's so much better if you know if you know the
Yeah.
universe. If you've never played Alan Wake or Control, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot. It's a lot being thrown at you. But it's such a good. But I mean, if you are into it, which I am, hearing Mr. Scratch, hearing the Federal Bureau of Control, like, it's good. It's a really good game. Um, all right. Well, I guess we can talk about Spider-Man. We can talk about whatever you want to. It's been a long time since we've talked. Uh, so you haven't done how far are you in Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed, literally, I know I'm towards the beginning still.
Oh, okay. You're still
I want to
early.
say it's still very early. I've went on my second mission now as an assassin. So that's where I just went back to the city where, like, I forgot all the names already. But basically the guy that you start the game with, and he's the one that sends you on your missions, and he's very disappointed where you want to be an assassin, and he tells you to quiet down. And I'm
Yeah.
at the beginning, I just went back to the shop. Now he owns a shop, and I went back and sold
Oh,
him some
yeah.
parts. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at now.
It's not the longest game in the world, so it's I think it's manageable. Like, you should be able. Now, are you getting Ghost Runner or Alan Wake?
So Ghost Runner, I do plan on getting. I'm actually a mod for the Discord.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And then
Wow.
I have a friend who actually got to play test it, and everybody I guess who play test it gets to be like their credits are in the
Oh,
their name's gonna be in the credits.
wow.
So that is something I haven't had a chance to. I haven't gotten it yet, obviously, but I'm like moderating for it. It's something I plan
Oh
on
my
getting for
God.
sure.
I played 2 hours, and it's really, I think, I don't want to call it a safe sequel. It's definitely more of the first game. And I
Yeah.
think it's actually easier than the first game, which is I have one problem with it. It's that it's easier. And not that I like to die 200. I think one time in a level I died 270 times in the first game. So not that I want that, but I'm dying like 6 times per level now. So it's like such a, you know what I mean? They like forgive you more. Like, blocking is easier, deflecting the bullet back is so, like, they give you more.
They
Um
toned it down.
yeah. I honestly, it's probably because they saw stats of who, I would imagine, right? Of, like, who
Who
made it
finished?
through the first game,
Yeah.
and they were probably like, well, that's not good enough. We need to make it eat, which is fine, because the game is bigger and better in the other ways than the first game. That's my opinion of it right now. As soon I got to beat Alan Wake every night. Tonight I'll be playing it, and once I'm done with Alan Wake, I'll do Ghost Runner, and then There's one other game that I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I did tweet. I'll just say there's that game from Don't Nod that's coming out on Halloween, and yeah,
Ooh.
and I really liked the first time I played it, but I haven't started that game yet, and we'll just leave it there. But we're in the freaking thick of things.
We
Um,
are.
Parker, yes, we want to do it more, and I think over the holidays, I think this will be a lot easier to
For
do.
sure.
So you can expect it definitely more consistently in the next like 2 months. A huge problem is that the world feels so empty after the platinum, like there's nothing to do besides doing crimes. Yeah, of
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I assume. Yeah, yeah,
And at the end of the game too, it was hard. Like my last trophy for the platinum
yeah.
was the Surge one.
Oh yeah,
Because I did, and because you have to do it as Peter,
yeah.
there is no enemies for you to fight unless you do random crime. So I had to
Right.
literally find a random crime, build up the Surge meter. Then I had to find another random crime,
Yes,
go
that's
use the Surge
exactly what
meter.
that's no joke. I did that. That was my second to last, and then
Mhm.
finding May's grave was the last. I
It,
saved that, and then that's you go to a crime, you build it up, you might get lucky if it's an elite
yep.
boss, then you could use
Yes.
it. But then yeah, then you have to find another crime, use you could use like 5 abilities per thing, and then
Yep.
yeah, that's literally what I did. Yeah. Yeah. Miles is so much easier because of the Mysterio stuff.
You still
Miles, you can
here?
just I can see and hear you. Can you see
Okay.
and hear me? Yeah, you're
I
good.
can hear you now. There we
There
go.
you go. And nothing changed on our end. I was just saying, like, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's exactly it. Miles is so much easier. Miles, you do the Mysterio missions.
Stereo
You got
missions. Yeah.
tons of enemies, and they're weak. And I use the Mysterio missions to do the bringing six in trophy one,
Yep.
and then
Same.
the using your powers to kill or take out the enemy.
Yep.
I used that for that. What do you think? And I mean, I agree. I think that's a valid criticism. I think that's to the discussion of is the game too short. I do not agree. I flat out do not agree that the game is too short. Still,
Same.
um, even if you tell me it takes 25 hours to platinum it, I still don't think that's too short. But I do agree but I felt that for the first game. Once you beat it and you're cleaning up, there's nothing, but you were playing the game, you experienced the game. It doesn't need to be a game that lasts forever. So
No.
that is a criticism, but it's not the biggest deal for me, you know.
I believe that the length of the game was what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a firm believer in that there's no such thing as it shouldn't be a such thing as a game was too short or long. It's whatever the story requires it to be, right? You don't want it to overstay as welcome. You don't
Yeah.
want it to understay as welcome. It's got
Yeah.
to be just right. I think that they hit that right there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's definitely not too long.
Mhm.
Um, I yeah, I think 20, selfishly, 20 hours, like that's perfect. It doesn't need to be. I don't have the now. And that's the part I
Mhm.
never like to say that because obviously, like everybody's different. Me saying, well, I
Different.
don't want to play it for 60. Well, somebody else could. Um, but even the people that are like platinuming it, and there's like console warrior stuff going on Twitter, right? Where it's
Oh,
like
of course, every day.
every day. But like 3 days in, people are platinuming it, and the Xbox accounts are tweeting it and saying like it took you 3 days. And it's like, but the cool thing about Twitter is like you do see people that are outside, and I've seen people that are like, well, I'm a parent. There's a lot of like parents out there that play games, and they're like, I can play like 2 hours a night. That's it. So like a
Yep.
20-hour game is still plenty, and a
Yep.
100-hour game is impossible. You know,
Yeah.
if you're in that situation, no, that's not everybody. Not everybody's a parent, right? That has to watch a kid or something. But if you can play an hour or two a day and the game's 100 hours, you might not buy it because
Nope.
you know what I mean? And I totally get that. So yeah, I made that video of the is it too short thing right in the beginning, and then I didn't platinum it before I made the video, but that's definitely and you know what? You could sense it a mile away that it was going to be a
Mhm.
discussion point, right? As soon as it was
Oh,
the
for
same
sure.
length as the first game, you knew people were gonna go after it. So
Which I don't understand it at all. I even the the quality of the product should be always at least the most important part.
Yeah.
When you go in there, did you have a good time? Was this, because honestly, what's worth it? There's obviously certain cases where you can tell, like, okay, this clearly wasn't worth it, or that was worth it. But normally, 9 times out of 10, the answer, the question of what is worth it is objective in most
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah.
So it's just, debating for the sake of debating. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people really enjoyed this game. Playing it was a blast. And if you get me to play a game that's very fun to play, I no complaints
Well,
there.
that's the argument. I have seen that argument on Twitter, and I think that's a really valid argument where people are doing the screenshots of the trophies, right? And it's like,
Mhm.
is it 25% almost have maybe not platinum, maybe beat it. No, I think maybe it's platinum. The point is, it's a very high number of the people that already beat it and already platinumed it. And
Yep.
again, I mean, you can look at that as it's so short that people were able to do it in like a week. And I guess that's something you can say. But I did see this point on the other side. Like you just said, it's a fun game. People are completing it, as we've talked about. The
Yep.
percentage of people that beat games is notoriously low.
Low.
Low. Even a game that's 10, 15 hours, sometimes only 20, 30% of people will beat it. Right? Like that's a real thing. So for this game, yeah, I mean, you can look at it at the negative, but if you're looking at it from the positive point of view, it's like it's keeping people. Yes, it's shorter, but people are going all the way through and people are 100%ing it, which normally
Yep.
does not happen, you know?
No, in most cases, never. I mean, I can tell you from experience, I'm not a trophy hunter,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I will only go after trophies for either IPs or games or franchises that I have an attachment to.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really go for platinums.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I have a pact with myself. I don't know why. I'm going to get it platinum within 3 days, and I do it all the time. So it's easy because it's effortless. You
Yeah.
really play it most of the time, and you're just having so much fun playing it. You accident like the baseball trophy, right? When you go
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
the field. I didn't even look that up. I kind of just
Oh,
was
wow.
bored at one point in time, and I just kind of was like, I was finished with everything, and I was like, oh man, this baseball field. Like, let me see like the details and everything. I started running around the base, and then he like started saying something for running around the base. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I got a trophy. I'm like,
Oh my
oh,
god. Wow.
so,
I know somebody else who did the same, just exploration, and they're a baseball fan and they just ran around the stadium, and it's like, oh, like, yeah, that's super. Yeah, that's clever. That's cool. And I think that's a positive of the game, and it's not a console warrior. Like, you could probably bring up an Xbox game versus, but even to use like Alan Wake, like how many people that start Alan Wake 2 are going to beat it? Not the percentage of
not many.
Spider-Man. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
Um,
That should be
so
rewarded. That's a win for gaming.
yeah, yeah,
I think another win for gaming was the fact that we know I love my physical games, and the fact that Insomniac put the full game on the disc. That was huge to me. I would
yeah,
like to see, I doubt it would happen, but I would like to see the industry take notes and follow suit with that, because
yeah,
that was just incredible to me.
yeah. Um, and this is a good one. After playing it, do you believe Spider-Man 2 pushes the PS5 to its limit, like Insomniac said? I think it pushes it pretty. I do. I think there's more
Oh,
room.
yeah.
I look to like Naughty Dog for like The Last of Us in the last 6 months of the PS3. That was as far as that's as far as PS3 could go. So I don't think you're gonna get that until towards the end, but
Mhm.
using the Ratchet and Clank stuff, like,
Oh,
with Black
so
Cat,
smooth.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like, and even the Mysterio, like, as soon as you do the Mysterio stuff, you're like, oh yeah, it fits what you're doing, like with Mysterio, and it's also showing off because it's like, they have that technology and Ratchet and
Yep.
Clank with that experience, right? And it was epic, like it was really, really good. The immediate switching. So I think they do that better than anybody. Although, let me just quickly say, Alan Wake 2, without spoiling things, Alan Wake 2 has some like bleeding effect things that go on where it's like you'll be walking and then things will pop and it'll be a different environment and it'll go back and swap back and forth. And so that's using, I would imagine, roughly the same technology. And
Same
I think
tech.
it does it very cool. So Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. It's a few hours in it does it. So people will see it. What's up, Philip? Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thank you.
Spider-Man. Yep. And it's selling well. I imagine we'll get another report in like another, maybe even tomorrow, right? Because it'll
Yep.
be, is it 2 weeks? Has it only been out for a week or has it been 2 weeks?
Only a week. It
Oh my
feels like
God.
2 weeks.
It
Only
feels
a
like it's
week.
been out a month.
Yes.
It feels like it was a
I mean,
month
like even
ago.
beating the game, man. I was like, God, man, this taking me a long time. I look at the date and I'm like,
It's the
it
next
really
day.
hasn't taken me anything.
Well, I think I'm allowed to say it. So I knew I was gonna get it a couple days before. I just didn't know if I was like allowed to say it. So I got an email from it was again, you remember I told you the Horizon thing, and I thought it was a scam, because it was
Yep.
like you never get emails from PlayStation. So I got one and they told me, they'd give it to me on the Thursday. And I was like, oh, and my mom was visiting that week, last week. And I told her, and that was her last day. The Thursday was her last day. I had to take her to the airport at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And I told her, I was like, so that day I'm going to be playing Spider-Man like the whole day. And I did. I put that Thursday, Friday, I put like 14 hours in, but like
Oh,
I did 7, 8 hours a day, you know, and it was just nonstop. But it's like, but again, yeah, I think that's a praise of the game because there's not many games you can play for like 8. I mean, multiplayer games I think are a little bit easier. Single player games, man, I think I did it for The Last of Us 2. Last was part 2. I played it for like 8, 9 hours because I just wanted to see what the F they were doing with the story. But it's hard. I don't normally play games for 7 to 9 hours a day. Um but I mean I answered. I don't even think you do you think it can go further? Are you impressed by what they did? I mean, I'm definitely impressed with what they did.
yeah, it's hard not to be impressed with what they
Yeah.
did. I think from a technological standpoint, they outdid themselves by far from both of their first showings with Spider-Man. So,
Yeah.
and like you said, like using the Ratchet and Clank technology, there was just it was a lot of flexing there. And why not? I mean, you have it, you did it. It's why wouldn't you, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if Monolith, did that with the Nemesis system, I
Yeah.
mean, we would all be so we.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it at all. But I think that it can. I think it has a little room to go more. I don't think that it necessarily pushed all of what the PlayStation 5 can do, but I think we are getting there. In fact, I think we've been getting there as far as like
Yeah.
what it can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the loading, like the seamless transitioning is the
Correct.
power of next gen just in general.
Yep.
Which is what they did with was it the Unreal 5 engine where they kind of where the girl is like skydiving basically and all
Yep.
those Yeah, I mean that's kind of the technology. Like it looks better than ever before, but it's more about the seamless transitions and seeing it with Spider-Man and then literally like last night Alan Wake is doing it. And I'm like, "Oh wow, like this is like the higher tier games are the one that are pushing technology. At least they're doing kind of the same thing, this seamless blend. So I wouldn't be surprised if games like Hellblade, maybe Hellblade 2 will probably do stuff like that. Wolverine,
Yep.
so
And the fast travel
yeah.
was
Oh,
got
absolutely insane.
insane. Like literally no load time, nothing. Like literally the map zooms in and then you're there. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Like I could not like it's actually hard to put into words how unbelievable. I thought
yes,
But you know what that Ghost of Tsushima, I mean I just let it like Sucker Punch with Ghost of Tsushima 2 is gonna be insane. More than
yes.
this because remember Ghost of Tsushima 1 on PS4, they were basically doing what Spider-Man just
And
did.
it's doing now. Yep.
Yeah. So imagine what they're doing for Ghost 2. I don't even know how you do it faster, but I truly believe Sucker Punch will do it.
If
So
anybody can do it, it's them.
yeah. I mean, they were the best ones. Remember they said they had to like put tips somewhere else because there wasn't enough time to look at the tips for Ghost of Tsushima because you weren't in the loading screens long enough to read them, and it's like,
Exactly.
oh my god. Do you think Insomniac can get away with setting Spider-Man 3 in New York again? Ooh, that's a fantastic question. What do
I
you think?
think I think honestly, earlier I said I had critiques, and they would be not necessarily story, but more so the integrity of the character of just the Spider-Man in general.
Yeah.
I think splitting them up would be the best course of action, specifically with how it ends too. To me, the Spider-Verse was always an event, right?
Yeah.
And when you have too many Spider-Men, I think that, or Spider-Women, there is not that, the characters kind of take a hit individually, all of them. Because for in this one, for example, a lot of the things that Peter struggled with, I felt like Miles cleaned up literally all of the problems.
Oh yeah.
Whereas if you're a traditional Spider-Man fan, you have been grown accustomed to Peter being able to overcome a lot of those issues and gather the strength for himself. And same thing with Miles, a lot of his situations where he would overcome things. So I believe that splitting them up and putting one or the other into a different city would breathe new life, number one, and give us a new map to play with. Number two, it would give each character breathing room. And number three, it would make the stakes a lot more higher if there wasn't backup coming, if that makes sense. From a narrative perspective.
Yeah.
And from like I said, the map, just having a different map to play on, having a new city to build in, that would be great. However, I don't see them doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the city is a tough because I playing it.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with
No.
it. And you think of people brought it up. Yakuza,
Yep.
Yakuza, or Like a Dragon now, right? Uses the same place every time,
Every time.
and every time it feels a little bit different, or they'll focus on different sections of it. Whereas and they kind of did that for Spider-Man, right? The focus
Yeah.
wasn't on the same location. So yeah, it's tough because it would definitely again be a discussion because there are so few games, I guess, that are in this situation to have to even contemplate, right, what you're gonna do. So I think they'll do. Yeah, I think it'll still be there. But yeah, the splitting them up thing, we'll probably talk about that more. We don't. I don't want to go too
Not go
spoiler
too
like.
far.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about that like maybe next Friday when we do our group thing. Because Miles certainly solves a lot of the issues in the game, like
Yes.
every issue. So,
Everything.
yeah, I think you kinda have to do something there eventually. Um,
Yes.
but I my bet would be on maybe just reusing it again,
Yep.
and the internet will do its thing, but I really think it would be okay a third time. I don't see a huge problem with it.
Not to mention that, like, the beginning of the game kind of changed certain aspects of the city because there was
Yeah,
sand everywhere. So I
yeah,
mean, like, it was, I like it. Like
yeah,
they'll do things differently with the map. They'll change some of the structure on the map. It won't be like one for one the same, but like the
yeah,
city will be the same, but it won't look necessarily the same. Even Miles had snow at one point.
yeah, yeah,
Miles Morales. So there's a lot of things that they can creatively do to give you a different feel for it. I'm not
yeah,
worried about it.
yeah. Do you think there'll be DLC or just another see, this one's a good this is
Yeah,
good. This is good because I just made the video yesterday talking
I
about
seen it.
and at this point, yeah, I'm actually more it's like it's not a concern in like a bad way, but I'm thinking like, okay, you got DLC slash like expansion, but when does it become its full on own game? And it's like,
Yep.
could that be what they're gonna do, right? With 20 again without getting into spoiler. So like next year, there probably is something that comes from them. And I think I'm definitely beyond the 3 part or 3 chapter thing that's not gonna happen. I think it'll
No.
be an Icky Island thing, but
Mm-hmm.
the jump from an Icky Island thing to a Miles Morales game is not all that big.
No.
So I really wonder which they'll do, Like, because they
I
could do
figured
either.
I figured in between, when they were in between 2018 and this one, I honestly think that same thought process is what created the Miles Morales
Oh,
game.
yeah. Yeah.
Miles Morales was smaller, like a smaller scale game in comparison to the 2018 one. And if you're going to make a large DLC that's roughly what, like 15 hours, you might as well stretch it out a little bit, make it a full game, put it out there. Why not? I mean, it's there for the taking, and I mean, I don't like thinking about what companies want, but I mean that would benefit the company.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that being a thing that they want to do. I feel like Miles Morales was probably like a test. Like if we put out a smaller one, charge a little less for it,
Right.
would people accept it? And it was widely accepted. So it all depends on how they choose to maneuver through that.
Yeah. I agree. It's the next big discussion thing, before Wolverine, right before Wolverine. Um, they're wizards of how fast they do stuff.
They are.
Wicked, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I should have. I mean, I announced it like an hour and a half ago. I was thinking of doing it yesterday, last night, but I never got around to it. I should have given you guys more notice, but we're doing good. We appreciate you guys being here. We seem to grow every time, or at least match what we did before. And I think it's been like I think we did in August for Gamescom,
Yep.
so it's been like 3 months. So thank you guys for joining us. Um, how well do you think Alan Wake 2 will do? Will it be good enough? Oh man. I've been pretty controversial in saying I don't actually think it's going to sell all that great. Um and my my answer would be because I haven't beaten it. So this is not spoilers. I don't even think I'd be allowed to talk about spoilers. I still predict that Jesse from Control is going to be in this game. And I think this is the game where they're gonna really connect the universe of Remedy. And then I think in Control 2, it's gonna be almost a 50-50 game. Like this game is with Alan and Saga. I think it'll be with Jesse and Alan. So I think they're
Oh,
gonna bring Alan. And I do not like that is just speculation. Okay. But I think this will be the game that they connect it. And then like Control 2 can kind of be their Alan Wake 3 if they want, where he's a huge part of
okay.
it because they have to they have to build beyond Bright Falls and Alan Wake himself, right? And I think Control and Jesse is a good way of doing it. So that's what I don't know if they'll actually ever be an Alan Wake 3. And Sam Lake, he's like 51, 52. You can't wait another 13 years to make an Alan Wake game. So, you know, let's see. I think we were eventually going to get a Venom thing. Like they gave me wait, what does he say? Like they gave me a fall damage animation death. Wicked. Did you have a stroke? I don't know how those things connect. No, it'll be a Venom thing. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm unsure if it'll be like an expansion where it's part of Spider-Man 2 or it's a Venom. Literally, it's just called. What would it be called? Because you can't call it
Electric Carnage. Well, no, they can't do that.
like the
Well,
name. Oh,
of the game of the
like the
DLC.
title of the game. Would it just be called Venom, or do you have to do Marvel's Venom, or do you drop that?
See, I don't know if there can be a Venom because of.
Yeah,
I don't want to. You get what I'm saying, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm like,
But the thing
I
is, Tony Todd is the one who said he did voice lines and all that. So
oh,
remember, he's the one who started it because he said he was working on a
is
project.
that where it came from?
He started it, and then how do you say Miles's actor? Not Najee?
Not yeah.
And then he told that Deeper Depths, right? He told him that he was working on something, but didn't he also say Tony Todd? But Tony Todd was the first one to say he was working on something.
I don't know why I overlooked that. I always thought
Yeah.
that it was just this game.
Yeah, because he's Tony Todd said he was working on. He said he can't say if it's a game, movie, but he said he was
We
working
all
on
know
something that
that
would
though.
come next year. He was talking about Spider-Man. Then Miles's actor said the same kind of thing. So I think
Mm,
whatever the expansion is has to have all three of them, which means Venom has to be in it. At least that's what I
okay.
through detective work, through a little analysis, I think it kind of has to go like that.
That
So
is. I'm very interested.
maybe you do the multiverse to bring him in or something. I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
possible.
know. Imagine Spider-Man 3 where Miles is stuck with his mom in Puerto Rico like they're traveling and Peter's stuck in New York City. That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
That's a way to split them up. Even if
Yeah.
you put it a game like Miles is going on vacation with his family and Spider-Man is protecting Puerto Rico. Like
Yeah.
you could do that. You could do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, he said gave him fall damage animation. I still don't know. Do you think it should be permanent? Okay, wait. Did you play the game with fall damage? Because I didn't.
I didn't turn it on. I did turn it on for a brief second just to watch it happen.
Yeah.
But I turned it right back off only because like I feel like the more immersive Spider-Man experience is no fall damage.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the way to go. In your opinion, which sequel made the bigger jump? Forbidden West, Ragnarok, or Spider-Man 2? Oh man. Ooh. A tie between Horizon and Spider-Man, because I think the water and the traversal of Horizon was a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
I think visually Horizon Gorilla like knows how to push visuals. God of War was very in line with. Now that was
Yeah.
I loved it. It was one of my favorite probably top 3 game of last year, but it was very much the same, taken over, just a new story, which is fine.
Yeah.
But that one did not push almost anything, I would say.
Mm-mm.
You know.
And Spider-Man just threw everything out the kitchen sink that it had, that Insomniac had from their other games. And that's why I was like, it's Ragnarok. The best way to put Ragnarok is that from a technical standpoint, not too much changed.
Yeah.
From a narrative standpoint, I believe that that's what propelled that game to the heights that it got, because it didn't really need to do much else
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
story and the type of game that it was. I think Horizon is definitely the bigger of them.
Yeah. I agree. No, Epic, don't spoil anything about Spider-Man. Exactly the same here. Maze Grave and yeah. Maze Grave was my last. I kind of did them in order, and then I saw like the ones of like going places. Some of them I did first, some of them I did last. Some of the more uh like beat 'em up kind of trophies I try to nail like in succession. And so yeah. Oh. Okay. I'm not gonna put that on the thing, Wicked, just because I don't want to do spoilers. But
Yeah.
now I see what you mean. Now I see what you mean. They did miscount the Spider. Yeah, they did. That's true. But I don't think that's included in the 2.5 that Sony said. I think that's
Mhm.
more of like the UK's count of the physical stuff. I don't think that would affect the 2.5 million, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, and then since we've been gone, not to quote the
Yep.
song, since we've been gone, the Activision Blizzard deal went through. What a thing. What a thing.
I honestly thought, like, I seen somebody put it online, and I was hoping that they didn't, because console warriors would have been everywhere if they put all the Spider-Man games that they now own up on Game Pass when the game
I'd
came out.
like
I
to
was like,
make it known, okay? Now, Twitter is big, Twitter is vast. I did a tweet like that like 3 weeks ago, and it did blow up, and it had a lot of console fanboys attacking me. And then, yeah, as soon as the deal went through, you had all the other accounts do it, and then they also got attacked, and they also blew up. But I do want to say, maybe I wasn't the first one to do that, but in my circle of the people that I saw that did it the day the deal went through, I actually did it first. The saying the Spider-Man game should be on, they should. And it's not a console warrior thing, although yeah, it would be pretty funny. It would be like a nice little jab.
oh,
But
for sure.
yeah, I just want it because those games are pretty good. And if they drive down, because I want them physically, and they're like $100 each.
Same.
So
Yeah, no, like it was. I would love for them to put those games up there more than anything. The chaos of Twitter would have exploded. The Xbox would have been like, we got the better games over here. Look at all of this stuff, and then the place, it would have been crazy.
yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna see the Five Nights movie, but it's not gonna be in theaters. But I'm gonna see it with my daughter. But people hate it. You see the stuff out. People
Yeah,
hate it.
I mean,
I just
like people and like critics alike,
yeah.
they're
Well,
joined together.
critics hate it. Fans seem to be very mixed. I saw a couple of the Screen people that I'm like in a circle of Some liked it, some really hated it. There was that fight that broke out in the theater. And then the thing I'm worried about is the scares because it's PG-13. My daughter's
Yep.
turning 10, but she's a scaredy cat. And I'm kind of a scaredy cat too. So it's like I hope it's not that bad. Because if it's bad, I don't think she should watch it, even though it's 5 nights. Of course she wants to watch it. So I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I'm from. Oh yeah, no. I figured when you said the trophy thing, I figured you were starting from the beginning, Peter. We appreciate you being here. You watch this podcast in any order that you want. You could start at the end and go to the beginning if you wanted to. Yeah, see, Sway, I was right. Wicked knows. Wicked remembers. People were coming at me for that Spider-Man tweet, and then I did the Spider-Man giveaway which is kind of blew up, and I didn't think that would happen on Twitter either. Spyro for one day.
One day.
With Microsoft's backing. Philip, yes, I do. I do think Alan will show up, as I just said. I do. I believe. I mean, like, you don't make a second game to not make a third. And Remedy kind of already has like their next 4 games planned. Or they got Control 2.
Yep.
They got the multiplayer thing. They got the Max Payne remakes. And then don't they have one more that maybe I'm forgetting? And they also have 2 expansions for Alan Wake. So I know you probably don't announce an Alan Wake 3 before the second game comes out. And so maybe like in a month from now, they'll say, hey, yeah, we are going to do an Alan Wake 3. And because you made a second game, it does make sense to complete the trilogy. But at the same time, like I said, if they feel like Alan could just like keep going and just be part of the bigger world, do you need a game called Alan Wake 3 if he's a main playable character going forward in all of their games? You probably don't need that. You know what I mean? So I won't be that upset if there's no official game called Alan Wake 3. Yeah. Oh, the Spider-Man thing, I assume? Maybe? So who knows why it isn't multi-plat? Well, Spider-Man, are the Web of Shadows and all that stuff on Xbox or no? Was it
They
just
are.
Yeah, okay. So maybe Parker's not talking about that. It should be, like I said, Spider-Man games, Transformers games, War and Fall. Prototype you can pretty easily still get, but putting that on Game Pass. Obviously Crash and Spyro. They got a lot. StarCraft. I need StarCraft back. All those oldies. Oh God. What's your big prediction? I think we can say this without spoiling too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I actually kind of agree with his prediction.
I agree. So I agree and I disagree. So Peter died. Goblin does not traditionally kill Peter. In there's like 2 comic lines. There's the canon comic line, which is the 616, and then there was the non-canon line, which is the Ultimate Universe. That is where Miles was created, and everything that happened in that comic line was not canon to the 616. So the only reason why I always disagree with that they would kill Peter is because canonically and traditionally Marvel has never done that outside of the realm of there being like, this is a thing that's not canon, right? Like this is so that is the reason why. So when I say like it's an asterisk next to it, they kill him in the comics. He does not traditionally die in the canon. Yeah. So that is why I would say like I could see them splitting them up. I could see them going a different route, but I've even talked to a few people who were like, as much as they love the game, they had their opinions on how some stuff played out in the game, and how Peter was kind of treated in the game. So I don't know necessarily if diehard comic fans would accept that.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I mean, we got roughly 5 years.
Roughly. We ain't gonna find out for a very long time.
It'll be. I mean, you know what's scary? Not just saying like 5 years, because God knows where we'll all be in 5 years. But 5 years is 2028. I think that's pretty safe. You know, it's to say, like, could they get it out faster? Maybe, but because they do so much, you would think that the priorities are kind of split. If they just did Spider-Man 3 next and that's it, you could probably get in like 2-3 years. But
Yeah.
Wolverine, and they'll do maybe it's a Venom game, and that will take time away from Spider-Man 3. So 5 years from now, 2028, fall of 28, that's, I believe, when they said the PS6 would be out. So this
Yeah.
would be like a launch game, which is ironically genius that they kind of
Yeah.
walked themselves into that, because you get to launch with the finale of a trilogy. Imagine how well that would sell a PS6, right?
They launched
So
with Miles
yeah,
for the 5.
yeah, they would be doing that, but I feel like this would be
Bigger.
even bigger, and you can't always plan it, right? Because
No.
if it happened a year before or a year after, then Spider-Man would come out a year before the PS6 or a year into the PS6, it would be different. It probably comes out when the PS6 launches. Instead of
That's what I would do.
Astro's Playroom, which is a phenomenal game, you get Spider-Man 3, which would be nuts. But also means that people might not be able to get, well, no, it'd have to be like cross-plat, like PS5
Yeah.
and 6. Yeah. Yeah. Is you can't say, like, if you don't have a PS6, you can't play it. It would be like the first month people would attack each other. Let's say that.
Mass rage everywhere.
Oh, no problem, Philip. It's funny that you brought up the theory of Alan as I said it. Yeah, I think it'll happen. I think that's the way of doing it. I didn't know Control was in the same universe as Alan Wake. Yep.
Yep.
A little they wanted it to be more mainstream, Control, so they hid. There's so many references. Like, it's hard to not know once you go through it, but it's not right in your face. And they purposely did that because Alan Wake failed. It didn't sell, and they literally were denied being able to make 2. And then they kind of broke out and did a more mainstream game, but they still wanted it in that universe. So they kind of hid the references that it was in the same universe. So I think it's very cool. You know, that's like an FU to them, isn't it? Where it's like,
It is.
you can't do it, but we'll make a game in the same universe, make it very obvious to those that know, but we'll kind of hide it, you know? And it's like, that's very smart by them. What's everyone's favorite suits from the game? This is a good one. I got to rank them. I got to do a ranking video one day of them. I think like the ones from the movie, like the Raimi ones, I think are pretty sweet.
I think all the movie ones, like across all 3 Spider-Man,
Yeah,
were brought to the game beautifully.
yeah.
My favorite suit in general, I've said this before, but like my favorite suits have traditionally been the black suit itself until Spider-Man 2018. So like I'm gonna have a more basic answer because literally the start suits in the 2018 still my favorite suits to look at. For Miles, it's actually the last suit you get with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Miles, I will say controversially, I think Miles has the better suits. Well, maybe that's
He
not
does.
controversial. Yeah,
He does.
I think he's
Yeah.
got better suits. I like. So I think Peter's is more like,
Traditional.
yeah, but it's like the polar opposites where
Yeah.
there's some from him that I absolutely love. Like even the ones created, like there's some that are really cool, and then there's some that I'm really not a fan of where I would like
Same.
never wear it. And Miles doesn't have that range. His is like generally good, if not better. Peter's got some incredible ones, and then he's got some ones where it's like, what the heck?
What were we doing here?
Yeah. Which I noticed, and I think they took a step back in terms of the suits in general, you know, with the powers and stuff in this game. That's one of the weaknesses, but suits have never been that big of a thing for me. So, you know, I saw this comment. I was trying not to have a stroke while reading it. New Arc Remaster has that Niagara water physics you made a video about. Oh my God, really? A game has that in it? Wow.
Investigation time.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta look. I gotta make another video on it. Spider-Man's water was really good, by the way, in case people were wondering. Yeah. Seeing the glide, like, I think I saw it a little bit in like the earlier in the gameplay, like the previews and stuff, but I didn't see that much of like the gliding. I didn't know how long you could glide, is basically what I'm going. I saw somebody, I think one time, glide on water in the preview, but it wasn't for long. You can glide on the water a pretty okay amount before you fall, you know. The Spider-Man games can't go on forever. My prediction is that by the latest, the PS7, Sony will stop paying for the license and Spider-Man goes third party again. Maybe. But it keeps doing so well for them that it's almost detrimental, if they let it go. Oh, that new Walking Dead game looks so bad. Did you see the trailer for it? That's the one.
I have.
Yeah, where you get to pick your path. No, it's not King Kong level bad or
I was just
Gollum.
about to say that.
Yeah. Oh my god. We've missed a lot. Kong, that was the only bad one in this stretch. Like we had a break.
Kong is
that.
egregiously bad.
I can't believe Kong came out, man. Like
I can't believe it exists.
yeah. I remember the trailer. And thinking, yeah, this is gonna be really bad. But I mean, it seems worse than Gollum.
But it was.
Yeah. Oh man, and you see, Gollum's only $10, which I was heavily considering because a video. Could I make more than $10 on a video on Gollum? Probably, but I'm gonna wait because I think you can get it for $5. I think it can go lower. I think it could be like a game. No, do you think it's almost insulting? Like if you put it on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, I almost feel like you wouldn't do it because of Sony and Microsoft's integrity. You wouldn't do it.
No. I mean, like, honestly, waiting for a Steam sale, whether if it's their winter or summer sale, I mean, like, you probably clean up on it for $1. They sell them that low. Like, that's what I'm like,
games do go on sale for like $199 and stuff. Yeah, you probably could get it that. Oh my god. Yeah. But didn't Saints Row go on PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, it's on the newer one. Yeah, it's on Saints Row. It was on PlayStation Plus for a free game.
But see, Saints Row is like a masterpiece compared to some of these games. Even like as time goes on, Redfall is not the worst game I've ever played, but it's pretty bad. And like I think of it worse the more we like go away from it. And I think especially because like that patch that they did, and then there was like the console warriors being like they fixed it, and it's like the game's terrible. You don't fix it because like you don't fix it with a patch where it's like, oh, it can run a little bit better now. Like the game functionally is awful. And I think even though I think they're lying to themselves, right? Because they're fanboys.
Oh, for sure.
But like seeing them like in fear, like made me mad. And it's like that game is, and it made me like hate the game more. It's like that game is terrible. They didn't fix it.
They can't fix it unless they structurally go back.
Yeah.
Make a different game.
Yeah. That's the only way. Yeah. It's like, can we? Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna read. What do you think of the Spider-Man trilogy? Spider-Man, I think it's one of the better. It's one of the best superhero trilogies ever. I think it's also one of the better gaming trilogies of all time too. Yeah. There's a lot of gaming trilogies, but I think it's up there in like the top tier. This might be a hot take, but although Spider-Man looks great, it seems literally every single piece of the game is marginally better than the first, except swinging, and everything is a missed opportunity. I agree with everything except for the missed opportunity. Everything is marginally better, but I think if you make everything slightly better, you've made a better game.
Better product,
yeah. Like the crimes,
like multiple, like little things add up into.
They add up. Yeah. Like the swinging is better. Gliding is a nice, web gliding is a better, or whatever you want to call it, right? The web wings are a really good addition. It looks better. It runs better. The water gliding is a cool little thing. The story is probably debatable. I like it more, but some people really don't. I get that. I think the relationship between the characters are better in this. Crimes are better. Side missions are better. And those two are better by a lot. So I think, everything's like but like you just said, they're multiples. Like they add up big time once you put them all together. But some people do think the missed opportunity. We won't again go into the Venom stuff towards the end. I have seen back and forth of like they could have done more, or whatever. That's fine. We'll discuss that maybe next Friday with everybody. I thought this until the ending of the game. I'll just say that.
Yes.
I think there'll be more characters, but I don't know if it'll be Spider-Gwen. What By the time we have 5 to 6 Spider-Man games, will it get too saturated? Uh,
I
if they're
think
too
so.
if they're too close, I think, but not if
Yeah,
they're too far, or not if they're further out.
I honestly think the only way that they can saturate Spider-Man is if they keep the same continuity, if that makes sense. I would like to see them make different continuities where you can have like things like a Shattered Dimensions
Yeah,
or Web of Shadows where they're not necessarily canon, but you're still pumping out Spider-Man games. But putting them in keeping this canon alive too long, I can see that becoming a bad thing.
yeah, yeah. Oh man. Uh, how much content will we be doing for Killer? A lot. As soon as they freaking, I did a lot when they showed the gameplay trailer, and they did do
Yep.
that. But you know, Epic wouldn't even give Gollum away as one of their free games. Yeah, yeah. I think Gollum and Kong are games that are so beyond that you don't include them on your service because it hurts your service to have a game. Saints Row, I think, is honestly in the same group, but I'll give it to them just because it's definitely not as bad as those. So I guess I get it. But honestly, even putting Saints Row like on PlayStation Plus is a little to me. I know some people like it. Some people, oh man, some people like it. But that's another one where I think people can have their different opinions and I'll respect yours as long as you respect mine. But to put time into Saints Row and to think that it's good, I got to give you like a 500 game list that you should check out. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things where I feel like there's better games you could play, and
Absolutely.
that's an opinionated thing. So I guess I know how that, or I can get how that sounds to people, but like I feel bad, even like, or if you're playing Redfall, or God forbid, if you think Gollum is a good game, like, hey, again, I'll respect you if you respect me, but it's just like I feel bad, like that feels. I don't want to say I feel bad for you, like that kind of mentality. You know what I mean? It's like I could give you a top 1,000 list better than Gollum.
That you would like more. And I mean,
Yeah.
as a person that played the Saints Row game, I the biggest slap in the face to me was the DLC. And the
Oh yeah.
DLC being like literally like 1 hour if that. It was, you know, they added a part of a different a different part of the city and stuff like that, but it was just like what are we doing here? I There were things that I liked about it, but there was ultimately, the more going back looking on it, there's more to dislike than like, and it is no wonder why they are.
Shut down. they,
Yeah.
they got they got destroyed. Yeah, that was a sad one.
Yeah, that was.
um. Oh yeah. Well, I'll read that, but then I'm gonna move on just because of the spoiler stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it played it safe in that regard. I'll say. I have seen the Titanfall 3 hints, and
Yep.
I think it could be real. I really think it's possible that we could get a Titanfall 3, which would be freaking nuts.
Every now and again too, every few years, like they'll come out with like hints and stuff like that. Even
Yeah,
like the people behind the game has
that's
openly
true.
said that they've wanted to make one, or that there was one being planned. So
Yeah.
I believe wholeheartedly that it's happening. I just don't know when.
Yeah. As an Xbox player, Redfall cannot be fixed even if it's 400 FPS. Yeah, yeah. It's the structure. It's
The
the
structure.
mission structure. It's how you shoot. It's the lack of creativity. It's the
The
enemy
foundation of the
AI. Like
game.
you can fix it a little, but you'd have to restart to really make it a smart AI
From scratch.
system. And it's just not like you. Yeah, you can't fix it. That easily. Um, I don't think it's possible to go back and play one for myself since two just played. So that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think I kind of agree. I actually think one
Yeah.
is more like watching territory now, or you watch the movie on like YouTube. Because
Yep.
playing it, yeah, that's tough to go backwards now. How do you think Insomniac would do with a Batman game? I think they would do pretty well. You just tap into the Resistance kind of like dark energy, and then what they've already done with Spider-Man. I think it would work.
Yep.
Um, I don't have a PS, but I can see it combined to be an amazing game. It's just every time I watch a review, I was just like, oh man, that's something I wanted them to fix. Oh yeah, yeah. My eyes hurt when I saw the Kong game. To be
I
honest,
thought I went blind.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about the movie game from '05, but once I saw the drama, I have a spreadsheet of all these old games that I want, physically and stuff, and I put that game, the 2005 one, on it. I did watch a little bit of it, and yeah, it's actually pretty good looking. Like, it looks pretty good. So I might get it. I might play it. Who else is getting the PlayStation handheld next month? Can't wait to waste my money.
Unfortunately, here we go.
I sadly, no, I'm not gonna do that. I keep forgetting COD comes out. Like I mentioned, like a
Same.
dragon and Persona. I never bring up Call of Duty because I actually most times I forget that it exists. So,
Same.
all right. So, well, we've made about an hour, and I think we did good. We could probably wrap it up. So, we appreciate it a ton. I'll let Sway say his goodbyes too, but thank you guys so much for being here on the second channel too. Um, I've thought about like moving it to the main channel because we'd have, I think, more people, but it's become like a staple here. But we're gonna next Friday, Sway and I, amongst other guests, a lot more even than the first time. We're gonna do another Spider-Man stream on the main channel. As for this show, we will be back, and I don't even think we'll be gone all that long because Thanksgiving is
Nope.
around the corner. I think we'll be back pretty soon. So we'll definitely be doing more of these episodes as we get to the end of the year. And beyond that, I don't really have any other updates for people. Sway, anything you want to say?
I would like to thank everybody for just coming out and supporting. Like you said, like it's amazing that like we could take a break and like come back, and you guys are always here,
Yeah.
always, and you're always bringing the energy, bringing the questions, and I just love it, just being able to communicate with you guys and just like kind of have a bond with you guys and just sit here and talk about the things that we all love to do and play. So thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you, Alex, for having us. And I just, like love you all, man.
Yeah. And two quick things. Epic, number one, yes, I will look at Life is Strange on the third channel. And I didn't see anything that really got me. The Infinite Wealth thing at the Xbox show was pretty cool, but nothing major. And I will check out the water of that game. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. We will see you all on the next one.